I'm about to attempt to assemble the hay bike Ranger. I live in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee, and in dropping my car off to get it worked on, turns out that I can't get an Uber out here because the middle of nowhere, and it's about a 4-hour walk home. So my parents insisted on buying me this bike, so here I am. The reason they got this was because it folds in half, so I can actually put it in my car, get to where I'm going, and then take the bike back home if I ever get in that situation again. So I have I think it's about 10 pages in here that I have to get through in order to get this thing fully assembled. So crap weather out here in Tennessee aside, let's see how this works out. Last night I took the battery out, which was very easy to find. It was just stuffed down the side here, and then I had to dig around and find the box that had the charger cable in it, which was this one. So I got it charged up last night, so that will be one less impediment I have to deal with. And then it looks like we have 2 wrenches and 4 Allen keys to deal with here, so, and a couple of end caps. So see how that works out. Doesn't seem too complicated yet. Hopefully that's all the tools that I need. Now it does weigh about 70 pounds, so it barely fit in my little Mazda, but it did fit in its full state, so hopefully when it's folded up it won't be as big as this. But 70 pounds is still 70 pounds. I hope we don't need that bit. All right, so not sure what the these tires are supposed to be inflated to, but fortunately I do have a battery powered charger, so I'll air those up before I take it for its maiden voyage tomorrow. Okay, that was a great deal of shenanigans, but I think we're actually ready to start on page 1. Page 1, which is unfold the bike. It's already unfolded. That's confusing. I actually show the entire assembled bike on the unfolded bit. Okay, looks like I jumped the gun here. Looks like this isn't the axle. I have no idea what that is. Well, apparently I mistook this for the actual axle for the front wheel. It's got bushings on it, so it seems like it's legit, but it turns out it's just for shipping. So the other axle is actually correctly installed now, so first use of the wrench. Bike unfolded, front wheel assembled. We even found a use for odd little rubber bits that were in the bag. So, fender and front light. Well, apparently, when I put the wheel on, the light is caught behind the fork assembly, so then I have to take the wheel back off to get the light back out so I can put the light back on the fender. Crap. Unless Oh, squished it out. I'm good. Now, the secret here is if you read the directions too well, you avoid a lot of the excitement that comes along with assembling things. Well, I'm fairly certain I can't get the headlight any tighter because the bolt is stripped. Now, I didn't crank down on it or anything. I think it just came that way, which kind of sucks because I'm going to have to replace that. All right, front wheels together as much as it's going to be in its current state. Now, handlebars. So the mechanism to lock the handlebars in place is inside the bracket for how it folds down. Not bad. If it's off by a couple of degrees, it will still drive me insane, but it will have to do for the time being. Tighten the 4 cap screws on the steam cap. I think they meant stem, but I understand what they mean. This is going on here then. There's skullduggery at work here. What the fucking hell is going on here? Locate the battery base, loosen the screw as well as the upper one in the seat tray. There we go. Okay. So this is what locks the battery in place. So the little Dumaflotcher comes out there and locks into this thing. So I need to install this thing on that. So then this will slide into that and lock, and then nobody can steal my battery. So thus far, the only additional tool that I've needed was something to cut the bands on all of the packing material. Other than that, everything seems to be supplied in these 4 little tools that they gave us. All right. There. And then it says, insert the key and rotate to on. Which way is on? Oh, it's on. What does that mean? Ooh. Pardon me. I see, so installing the rack now. That would have been helpful. Okay. Good news on 2 fronts. I know where this came from. The extra bit goes on the nut here. There we go. So they're pretty meticulous on having large covers for the axle bolts. There we go. There we Okay, so then, what is left? Only thing left, ooh, the seat and the pedals. Okay. You know, there's a great deal to be said for reading the instructions. Now, I refuse to believe that I got the front tire aligned with the handlebars as well as it appears. Something is going to go wrong with that. Seat done. Adjusting the fork suspension, don't give a shit about that. Pedals. Chain is on. Make sure that stays locked. I'll be folding in half going down the road. Pedals. This one has an R on it, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That is not a good sign. We are not off to a good start on this side. If I have a stripped pedal, I'm going to be very upset. Hoping I can get this thing at a right angle and get these threads started, because if not, I am screwed. Oh yeah, that's right. It's opposite threads on this side. It's been a long time since I put bike pedals on. That is that. And now the true test. Most men don't like to read directions, so the way we judge the success of assembling something is how many bits do we have left over? And in this instance, I have none. Besides the mystery axle that it shipped with, so next step, test ride. All set up and ready to get going for the maiden voyage here. This is the issue with the, so this is kind of loose. This bolt is stripped down in here, so it's unfortunate that it was stripped halfway down, that I would never notice it, but I think what I can probably do is put a few more washers on there and move these threads back so I could get it to lock down before it hits the part that's stripped. But it's not too bad, it just moves. I mean, you have to use a little force to move it, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'd still feel better if that was locked in. All right, let's do this key thing. Let's get this key in here, get underway. A bit soon for that, isn't it? Got a stick. Bumpy bit, not bad. there's definitely a delta between the assisted pedaling and just putting your finger on the throttle, in that the assisted pedaling doesn't seem to get you going as fast. So if I have my finger on the throttle and I'm going uphill and I start to lose speed, when I start to pedal, a lot of times I feel like I'm actually going slower initially. Kind of miss riding a bicycle as much as I did as a kid. It's a whole different connection you have to an area when you're on a bicycle. It's much more intimate than just blasting by on a car with your AC on, listening to the radio. Looks like we're down to about 1/3 of our battery. This is not looking good. Pedal a bit more here. Okay, so just got back, and all in all, I'd say that was a complete success. I think that everything handles great. The big tires and suspension seem to handle the terrain pretty well around here. There's a slight bit of rattling on the coming from the front end when I turn the handlebars, so I'll have to look into that. But everything else was great. I seem to have used, at one point, I mean, it shows that there are 5 tick marks on the battery charger. And at one point I was down to 2, but now I've left it to sit. I'm back to 3 again. And I think that, let's see, it was a 22 miles round trip. So not bad. If I did only technically use 2/5, and that's a pretty good distance I could probably get out of it. Writing it, I think that I averaged around 25, I think. But there was a lot of, being Tennessee, there's a lot of up and down hills. I seem to have gotten into a pattern of just keeping my finger on the gas / thumb electric button thingy. And then anytime I got below 24 miles per hour, so at around 23, then I would just start to pedal. And it's not normal pedaling. It's not like you're putting a lot of effort into it. It's definitely assisted pedaling, but even uphill, I was able to maintain a pretty decent speed. Probably not around the 24, 25, but in general, especially on the flats, 25 was easy. And it started going uphill. If I dropped to 23, I'd just start to pedal again and seem to maintain that. So very little effort, 20-something miles, super successful. As far as pedaling goes, I think in short distances there's absolutely no reason to pedal at all. I mean, it's sort of like a 2-wheel golf cart. You're just going to get where you want to go. I think definitely in more intricate situations where more navigation's involved, there's a lot more nuances you can get out of pedaling, so that's helpful. And then I think that definitely over long distances, you're just going to have to. There's just no way to. In the interest of prolonging battery life, I think that it's inevitable that you're just going to have to pedal, especially with the hills. Anyways, Haybike Ranger, definitely a well-built bike, super fun to ride. Look forward to more rides in the future.